Something really interesting going on in the YouTube space over the last week or so. You might know that for the last couple of years, there have been struggles on YouTube that the David Pakman Show channel has experienced. The first one was back in April of 2017. Back then, we were sort of a middle of the road sized channel. And we've also struggled more recently in some other areas. Now we are sort of in the top 1 or 2% of YouTube. And the struggles that we're having now are pretty different from the ones that we were having a couple of years ago as a result of different algorithmic and advertising related changes to the platform. And very often, whenever I talk about YouTube woes, people will write to me and they'll say, hey, David, you should unionize on YouTube so that all of you channels could bargain together with YouTube for monetization and status. And I've actually spoken to entertainment lawyers about this casually. And typically what they say is that YouTube is set up legally in the United States in a way that current law would not easily allow a unionization of YouTubers without wholesale changes to the law regarding independent contractors and employees and a whole bunch of other things. However, European law is different. And there is a huge movement in Europe for a whole bunch of YouTubers to unionize and to bargain collectively for rights with YouTube. So this is potentially huge, and I'm going to talk about it in detail. But before we even get into that, I also need to be very honest with you. I don't think I'd be interested in being a part of this YouTubers union at this point in time based on our challenge size, on our channel size, and I'll explain to you why. I support unions. I think collective bargaining is a great way for individual players to get more clout and have more control over their circumstances. I support teachers' unions. I support factory workers' unions and transportation workers unionizing and pilots, sports league players, the whole thing. But that being said, right now, given that my channel is one of the, in the top 1 or 2% of YouTube, I don't believe it would be to my advantage to get into a union unless it's a union of news and politics YouTubers that are my size or larger, which are relatively few. And what I mean by that is now that my channel is run as a part of a broader business that is very different than what it was even 2 years ago when we had a couple 100,000 subscribers, there is no way that a consortium or a union of channels that are not just news and politics, that are everything from makeup and gaming and sports and whatever else, and drastically different sizes, there's no way that it would be to my advantage to be in that union because our needs and our circumstances are now so different than those of the majority of YouTube channels. Now, you might hear me say this and react by saying, oh, David, that's because your channel is successful. That's why. I mean, I'm recognizing that. I'm not denying it. I want the full freedom to do or not do anything I want on YouTube. I want the freedom to put my content or not on any other platform that I want. I am actually at the point where only a union of the top news and politics channels would actually be useful. And that would arguably defeat the kind of egalitarian nature of the union to begin with. Because the truth is that at this point, even if YouTube screws me, I don't know that being part of a union like the one in Europe would benefit me. This is why I left TYT Network years ago. It had nothing to do with conflict with TYT of any kind. It was just that I'm the most nimble and free to do what's right for my channel. If I'm not affiliated with anything else, at a smaller size, I might trade that advantage for being part of the union. Right now, it simply wouldn't make sense. But let's explore what they're doing because this is serious. This could actually have a really major impact on YouTube. The YouTubers Union Europe has joined with IG Metall, which is Germany's largest union and Europe's largest trade union, to launch FairTube. This is the most significant YouTube-related organization of labor that we have ever seen. Here are their demands. Monetize everyone, bring back monetization for smaller channels, which was taken away. Disable the bots. At least verified partners have the right to speak to a real person if you plan to remove their channel. Transparent content decisions. Open up direct communication between the censors and the creators. Pay for the views. Stop using demonetized channels as bait to advertise monetized channels. Stop demonetization as a whole. If a video is in line with your rules, allow ads on an even scale. Equal treatment for all partners. Stop preferring some content creators over others. Pay according to delivered value. Spread out the ad money over all YouTubers based on audience retention, not on ads next to the content. And clarify the rules. Bring out clear rules with clear examples about what's okay and what isn't. The deadline for YouTube to respond is August 23. So far, no comment from YouTube. So this is really great. But if you look at the list of demands, you will see that it is all based on the connection between ad dollars and content, in the same way that Obamacare did good things, but it also further ingrained the for-profit healthcare system that we have by giving tens of millions of new customers to for-profit insurers. The demands that are being made here are excellent, obviously well-calibrated demands that reinforce the status quo in which content creators are given dollars via people watching advertising funded by advertisers buying an ad contract with YouTube. This is only a Band-Aid. This is not a cure for the disease. Half of these demands would go away if we completely reprogrammed how content works. If instead of having to make money by having a video that advertisers say meets their standards of what's okay, so that they will run an ad and give $1 to YouTube, from which the content creator gets 40 cents or 50 cents or however much it is, this goes away, which is why I've been pushing for us to fund shows we like directly, period. I am supportive of this movement. This particular union is not the right thing for the David Pakman show at this point in time, but I want it to succeed. But the real way to solve this is separate the ad dollars from the content by funding shows directly. Hundreds and hundreds of you in the last couple of months have said, I understand the importance of that. And you've signed up for memberships, for example, on our website, www.joinpakman.com. That severs the tie between advertisers and our content. That is a very good thing. Hundreds of you have become patrons, donating as little as $1 a month to our show at patreon.com/David Pakman Show. I support the union, and I wish it wasn't necessary, by changing the system to one where we fund directly the programs that we want. I hope you'll consider doing that.